everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today I'm going to be discussing my most anticipated books of 2013. I'm not someone who generally buys books brand new or on the day that they're released. A lot of these books are just ones that I'm going to be kind of watching as they come out and see how it's being reviewed and what people's reactions are to it, and then if it's getting a positive reaction, then I'll pick it up eventually. But there are a couple of these books where I'm just like, I need to pick this up right away on the first day it comes out. I'm going to try to go through these in order of when they're approximated to be released this year, so you guys can sort of mark your calendars if you're interested in any of these books. I do have links in the description to either an Amazon or a Goodreads page for all of the books that I mentioned. There isn't a lot of information out for a lot of these books just because it's still pretty early on, but you guys can at least check those out if you'd like. There are 3 books coming out on February 5th that I am really looking forward to. First up is Scarlet, which is the sequel to Cinder. Cinder ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, and so I'm really excited to find out what happens in the next part of this series. I've heard really good things about it so far from people who have gotten arcs. The other book coming out on February 5th is Perfect Scoundrels, which is the 3rd book in the High Society series by Ali Carter. I am a really big fan of this series. I think it is a lot of fun. The High Society series is something that I describe as being like Ocean's 11 except with teenagers, so if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I definitely recommend that series. The other book that's coming out that I'm kind of looking forward to is called Espionage Etiquette. I don't know a lot about it, but it seems to be about a finishing school that's for spies, so that in and of itself just sounds really awesome. On February 26th, The Madness Underneath by Maureen Johnson is coming out, and this is a sequel to The Name of the Star. As you guys may have seen in some of my previous book hauls, I actually won an art copy of this book, so I already own it, which is really exciting. I am waiting to read it until it's closer to the release date, so that way I can put up a review the week it comes out. If you haven't read The Name of the Star yet, I highly, highly recommend it. It is a really, really good book, and it might make you a little creeped out of bathrooms. In March coming out is The Nightmare Affair by Mindy Arnett. This is her first book coming out. It is kind of difficult to figure out exactly what this book is going to be about, but it seems to be a fantasy type book because it is about a 16-year-old nightmare. Like, this person or thing is literally a nightmare, and it takes place in a world with magic and things like that, so I guess just like some things are goblins, some things are nightmares. I don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but it looks really interesting and sounds really interesting. Another debut author releasing a book in March is Melissa Keel. Her book Life in Outer Space is coming out. I believe it is a contemporary YA book. It's about this super geeky guy, like into World of Warcraft and Star Wars type of geek who, you know, falls in love with a girl and hijinks ensue like most contemporary novels. I mainly am just looking forward to this because the cover looks really cool. There are 2 adult books coming out on April 2nd. The first one is Life After Life by Kate Atkinson. I am a big fan of Kate Atkinson. I really like her style of writing, and so I'm really looking forward to this one. The synopsis that's given right now is a little bit confusing. I don't completely understand it, but I have a feeling that this is a novel having to deal with life and death. The other one that's coming out is All That Is by James Salter. This is his first book in 7 years. He's this really acclaimed adult novelist, in case you guys don't know who he is. And so this one is very highly anticipated by a lot of people because he hasn't written a book in so long. It seems to be about a post-World War II America and a man dealing with the consequences of the war in his life and dealing with all of those things. On May 7th, Stephanie Perkins is releasing Isla and the Happily Ever After. This is the 3rd companion novel to Anna and the French Kiss and Lola and the Boy Next Door. These aren't sequels, but they're just companion novels, so some of the characters overlap a little bit and they all take place in the same world, but you don't have to have read the others in order to enjoy each one on its own. In case you haven't read Stephanie Perkins yet, she is a really great and fun YA novelist. I really enjoy her books. They're just super cute and super light. Even though they sound super cheesy, they are still really enjoyable. And then on May 21st, Khaled Hosseini is releasing his books, And Then the Mountains Echoed. This is the author of The Kite Runner and A Thousand Splendid Suns. I really enjoyed both of those books for similar but also different reasons, and so I'm really excited to see what his 3rd novel will be like. On June 18th, Neil Gaiman is releasing The Ocean at the End of the Lane. it's Neil Gaiman. I don't really think I need to say more than that, but also to note, if you live in the US or the UK, Neil Gaiman has said that this is going to be his last signing tour for a book because his tours are getting really outrageous and ridiculous. So if you haven't seen Neil Gaiman yet and want his autograph on one of your books, this is going to be the time when you need to go because you might not get a chance again. On August 6th, there is a book called Baba Yaga by Toby Barlow. Not completely sure what this one's about either, but it seems to be about both spies and witches, which I think sounds amazing. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out for that one. On August 20th, Marisha Pestle is finally going to be hopefully releasing her second book called Night Film. She wrote Special Topics in Calamity Physics, which people seem to either completely love or completely hate. I'm one of those people that completely loved it, so I'm kind of excited to have her finally release another book. And finally, in September, the third book in the Divergent trilogy by Veronica Roth will finally be coming out. I don't know why I said finally because the second book was just released last year, but I'm just so excited to see how it ends. So yeah, those are my most anticipated books of 2013. Feel free to leave your comments down below with the books that you're looking forward to, or if any of the books that I mentioned are ones that you are going to be watching out for as well, or if there are any books that I possibly have missed. Feel free to leave that down in the comments below. I know that there are a lot of series with a new book releasing this year, but I just haven't read all of the series, so I'm not quite anticipating like everyone else is. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching. Scarlet, which is the sequel to, what is it called? Crap. Another debut author that is releasing a book in March coming out is The Nightmare Affair by Mindy something. In March coming out is The Mindy Affair, no, that's not what it's called.